Hi there, and welcome back to another Pokemon Studio and PSDK tutorial video. I know it's been a bit, but in this video we're going to be going over how to manage and create new quests, how to give rewards for quests, how to check if your quest is done, how to validate or complete a new goal, and even how to fail a quest, which is going to be a newer feature coming to PSDK in one of its upcoming updates. So I know for a fact that PSDK has had probably 2, maybe 3 updates, maybe 4, I don't know, since the last video. We're currently on version 0.0.26.20 or 0.2. There has been quite a few changes, but I know Studio is going to be having some upcoming changes and I may need to revise some of my older tutorials. Hopefully not, but potentially. Going right on into it, we're going to go into the database and go over here to quests. Right off the bat, you might notice a few things. You could potentially be seeing that this says secondary, which is kind of insinuating that there's primary quest and secondary quest. You can see that here you have goals, and you actually have a variety of goals. And you also have earnings and a variety of different types of earnings. We're going to go over all of these just in a moment. But to start out, of course, we need to go over how to create a brand new quest. As always, click that new quest button in the top left and create whatever you want your quest name to be. And as you know, you can always do multiple translations. You just might need to do this first. Alrighty, so what we're going to do first is going to be a primary quest. And as you can see here by the red notification here, this is required. Category is also required, but it has a default, so that's why it doesn't have the red thing. And description is highly suggested, but it's not required. So you can add this quest, and as you see, we have a primary quest now. If you want, you can always change the name later and even add those translations. You can change the category, and you can also add the description later. Now, when it comes to goals, you can either pick, I think there's 7 different goals, but I could be wrong. There's speaking to an NPC, there's beating a trainer, obtaining an item, seeing a Pokemon, beating a Pokemon, catching a Pokemon, obtaining an egg, and hatching an egg. By using all of these, you can definitely make some pretty unique quests, and unfortunately you cannot create any new goal types, but realistically, speaking to a trainer is pretty diverse. Now, going into detail for each of these goals, the name of the event for speaking to an NPC really isn't that important. This is just what's showed on your UI for your quest. Next to the quest, it's going to say like speak to, and then it's going to say whatever you have written here, right? So for us, we're just going to say Professor, because why not, right? And then if you go to beating a trainer, same situation where it's going to ask what's the name of the trainer. Again, this isn't that important. This is just what it's going to show in the UI, and you're going to notice this time that there's an amount. So this is the number of times that you have to beat a trainer, a specific trainer, I guess. So you could say like rival green, right? And then after beating a trainer, we have obtaining an item. You can pick what the item is here in the drop down, or you can type it. So let's say we want like TMO2, right? And we just want one of them. You could do 2, but we're just gonna do 1. Right, and we're gonna do another new goal of seeing a Pokemon. This one is just gonna allow you to pick whatever you want from the drop down. Again, you can type it in. So let's go for a Charizard. Let's go to beating a Pokemon, and let's make this one a Charmander. Again, you can do the amount. I believe you can't do the amount for seeing a Pokemon. So it seems like seeing a Pokemon is only a one-time thing, but battling a Pokemon and beating a Pokemon, hatching eggs, all those things, you can actually specify the number. So after beating a Pokemon, we have catching a Pokemon. You can also do some very specific conditions. So you can do this Pokemon is a Bulbasaur and is at least level 36 and its type, I mean, I don't know. I guess if you're doing a specific Pokemon like this, you don't really need to do the type. You could do the nature, right? And you could also do what is that? Maximum level of 45. So this is basically saying, hey, I'm looking for you to catch a Pokemon that is a Bulbasaur that's between the levels of 36 and 45 and has a bold nature. An awfully specific catch, but all of this done. This is actually done automatically. You don't have to do any type of validation for this. This is just done in Studio and PSDK. Last but not least, we do have the 2 egg ones. So obtaining an egg allows you to pick the number of eggs that you want to set. You can do, like, let's say you need to obtain at least 3 eggs and maybe hatch 1, right, for this quest. So you have to at least get 3, hatch 1, right, and that's that validation for that one. With all of the goals now shown on screen, you can see that there's at least 8. I think I said that there was 7. There is 8. So you can make some really diverse, unique quests this way. Now moving on to what we want to do with our reward. For the reward, you can pick anything between money, a specific item, and a number of them, right? You can also do multiple different things like money and items, as well as a Pokemon if you want to reward like a Spearow, or if you want to do an egg like a Pidgeotto. Now unfortunately, it doesn't look like you can customize the Pokemon that you are giving. This might be better to do in the event itself. However, Pokemon Studio is now an open source project and people can contribute, so you may see one day where you can customize the Pokemon that's being given over here on the right. Now, like I said before, switching between a primary and a secondary is really as simple as this, and there is no major differential between them other than where they show up on the UI. It's really how you decide to handle it in your game, but usually your primary quest is going to be your main objective. Secondary quests are like side objectives, and this seems like a pretty important one, so we're going to leave it as a primary. Now let's add a new quest just so I can show an example here. This one is just going to be a secondary quest of beat green, right? Or beat our rival, right? Beat rival, right? It seems like a very simple one. We're gonna give it a goal of beating a trainer of rival green at least once, right? Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna launch our game in debug mode just so we can see everything very easily. And as you can see, we are in version 26.2 as of recording. You know, it actually makes more sense to set up the events that are gonna give us our our quest. So let's go and do that first. Now, creating a quest and managing your quest is actually a really simple process. So I'm just going to show off really quickly. We also do have a wiki page, or like a documented page that shows off how to do everything as well. I know I haven't mentioned it yet, but I was going to show it off before we finished. That shows you how to start your quest, how to, this is actually part of starting your quest as well. This is how it looks when you start it. It has like a message at the top, how to validate your goals, how to check if all the goals are done, how to fail a quest, how to give the rewards, and how to check if you've given the rewards already. So there is a page for those who prefer to see the text. So now back into our project, what we need to do is create a new NPC. I'm actually going to delete these guys. We don't really need them anymore. So we're going to create some new NPCs. This is going to be one that is just going to be someone who is going to give us a journal, right? So in case you didn't know, you can just do add _ item, and then you can do the DV symbol, give an item, right? So she's going to give us our journal. And actually, let's do give item, because there is a difference between adding an item and giving an item. Now to start our quest, we're going to go into a script command, and we're going to do quest.start. And now this is where we use our quest ID that we're going to be getting from Pokemon Studio. Either it's going to be 1, as shown here, 2, as shown here, or potentially even 0 if you're just going to be building off of this, right? Point is, it shows you the ID right here. This is not one of those situations where you can write, or where you can click here though, and it will just give you the number. So you do need to use your peepers and and look at it. So this one's going to be 1. She's going to be starting our main quest, and we're also going to do a quests dot check up signal. So this is actually required once you've started a quest to also do checkup signal if you want it to show that banner at the top. which I'll show you in just a moment. So she's going to give us an item. She's also going to start our quest, and she's going to do a checkup on the quest so that it displays in our journal and everything that we've officially started this quest. This is a quest that we're actually not going to be completing because this one has so many different objectives. So I'm actually more focused on this one, which is going to be beating our rival. So I do also want to start quest number 2, right? And then we are going to create our rival here. Not that he the overworld sprite doesn't need to match. The important thing here is going to be that what I want us to do is allow us to lose. And then we're going to leave this condition here for whether we won or lost, right? And then if we lost our last battle, which is going to be up here, we're going to do quests fail quest 2. So this is going to be the one that says to beat our rival. If we don't beat him, we're going to fail our quest, right? And then if we do beat him, we're going to do quest dot beat NPC to 0. Okay, so let me explain this one. So it's 2 because the quest ID is 2. It's 0 because he's our first trainer in the list, right? So lists always start at 0, then they go 1, 2, 3, etc. So since this one is a beat a trainer list, he's the very first one in that list. So what I mean by that is if we had to beat another trainer, as in rival blue, right? This one would be 2-1. So rival green is 2-0. This one would be 2-1 because quest 2 ID is 1. I hope that makes sense. Now let's go back in here, and this dialogue isn't going to matter too much because realistically we're just trying to show off what happens whether we win or lose. So let's see how that goes. Some minor things I forgot to show off. We will need a 3rd and 4th page for whether we won or we lost. And another thing to note is that the fail quest method is not in PSDK just yet. Hopefully by the time that you're seeing this, it will be out shortly after, or within like a few weeks or something in the next PSDK update by 26.21 maybe. You'll be able to use this fail quest method. So what I'm trying to get at is when I'm trying to use it right now, if we lose, it may not work. I'm not really expecting it to work. If it goes off, it should be causing a crash because we don't have the method. So I'm gonna have to go through an older development build that I have this method working, and I will show it off there. But for now, we're gonna get an OP mon, we're gonna battle our rival, we're gonna beat him, and hopefully after checking out the signal, it should show that we completed the quest. Another thing to note was that I had a very specific Pokemon. If you don't remember, this Bulbasaur it had to be between levels 36 and 45. It had a nature, it had to be Bulbasaur, all that stuff. Apparently something that specific actually is not good. It does break the journal. It doesn't understand, I guess, how to convert one of those to text. It's not a permanent issue. Hopefully PSDK will fix that, but just so you know, that was causing a crash, and so that's why now it's just a regular Bulbasaur, just to make sure that there will be no crashes, hopefully. As always, we go with Dawn. We're going to give ourselves like a level 100 Pikachu for this battle, so we're going to do in console s.mi.add Pokemon Pikachu 100. Alrighty, and as you see, now we have that level 100 Pikachu. We're going to step outside. We're going to get our journal. We're going to check out that journal first. Now, if you remember, we did start the 2 quests at the same time. If we want them to show separately, we're going to have to add a little wait in between them. So when you're about to see is going to be 2 banners shown on top of each other. Normally, it's only 1 banner at a time, but it's really how you program it. So as you see, we have our primary quest and our secondary quest of beating our rival. She gave us our journal, which allows us to see the quest UI. There's another way that you can do it though. You can either just call common event, I think it's like 7, and then you can also just do in the script, you can do quest _ book. So if we look, we have 1 side quest and we have one main quest. When we open our main quest, we're going to see our description here and our very first objective. It shows the first objective right here. If you want to see all of your objectives, you're going to have to hit V, and you're going to see your earnings first. Then you're going to see the goals. So now that we are at the goals, it's going to say, speak to Professor Oak, beat Rival Green, find 1 TM2, see a Charizard. I don't know why it has a 0 here. And then it loops back to the test. So unfortunately, if you have too many of these, meaning if you have more than 4, it's not going to show you objectives 5, 6, 7, and 8 just yet. Maybe we'll come in a fix in the future. We'll maybe allow you to press a button and it would show that second page of goals. Now, if we're going to go check out our secondary quest, which was much easier, much simpler, it just beat our rival, just beat green. There's no reward, and actually I just realized we're not even going to be able to complete this quest because I added both the rivals. So let me fix that real quickly. So if we open that journal again, and we open our side quest, it's going to say just beat Rival Green. There's no second objective anymore. So he's going to see us. He's going to start the battle. We're going to kick his butt. And then we're going to do a checkup signal after we've verified that we have beaten him based on the condition, using a conditional check of whether you lost the last battle. So now we talk to him again. He's going to say, I was really hoping to win. And then we did the checkup signal, which says completed the quest. So it is really, really, really simple to get working. Now I'm going to show you what it looks like when you fail. So when you fail, as you saw before, it is really just calling a different method. But when you fail, it's going to also store that quest into a different area. So we're going to talk to him, which is going to initiate our new quest, which has no name. And if we I'll actually check my journal here, we're going to see in the side quest here that this is all we have. Now you're also going to notice that if you go over to the right once more, you can have a completed tab, and this is probably where it ends for you. But soon we're also going to have a failed quest section for when you fail your quest. Now, when we talk to him and we fail our quest, it is going to appear now, no longer in the side quest tab, but all the way over here in the failed quest tab. Now, what's really fun is if you want your quest to be repeatable, it's actually really, really easy to do. You just need to start the quest again. So if you start the quest again, it is going to remove it from your failed quest over here, and now it's back over here in the side quest or main quest where it belongs, since you just restarted the quest again. So now that we've gone over how to fail a quest and how to complete a quest, I guess it's about time that we go over how to give the rewards. All you have to do is actually assign rewards, which I forgot to do previously. So I'm thinking, let's go Yu-Gi-Oh style, right? Let's do a Chimchar, let's get his Pokemon, and then let's also get just some rare candies, because rare candies are nice, right? So let's go and save that. We're going to open up our project again, and let me switch back over to the main tutorial one. Alrighty, and now over here we need to make sure that after we do the checkup signal that we're also doing a quests dot get earnings and then the quest ID, which in our case was 2. Usually, if you want to safeguard this one, you can also do a conditional branch and basically do a check to make sure that all of the goals are actually completed, which would be doing quest.finished and then 2. Don't forget the question mark. We don't really need to do anything when it doesn't apply because it doesn't matter. And now we should be good to go. So now we're going to switch back over, we're going to beat his butt again, and this time we're actually going to get rewarded. Of course, Thunder misses. I don't know why I even attempted. Let's try it again. Alrighty. So he loses, we get our usual money, and if we talk to him again, it says he really hopes that he was really hoping to win. And then we get our completed beat rival message. And then if we go into our Pokemon, we have the Chimchar, as you can see. And if we go into our bag, we have the 15 rare candies. So as you can tell, there is no message shown when you receive your items. it's up to you to decide how you want this to look and really how it plays out. So if you are knowing what the rewards are, which hopefully you are when you're creating your game, it's probably better to include in the message after you get the rewards, you know, you received, and then in like blue, Chimchar, then back to the black color, exclamation mark, and then, you know, doing the same thing for you received 15 rare candies, you know. With that being said, that does complete this tutorial series. I'm glad to finally get done with all of the Pokemon Studio basics. Next, I'll be going into how to create in new item effects, I think, or move effects, or ability effects, or just something like that, because that's what I really like to do, and I have a lot of fun doing those. So very excited to finally move into the custom scripting stuff. Maybe I'll go over some easier stuff first, like how to even do a monkey patch, but technically those videos are already out on the Pokemon Workshop Discord, or sorry, on the YouTube. As always, I hope this video did help someone, and I hope to see you guys soon. See you next time. Bye-bye.